Welcome to Kansas Ag Report with your host, Brian Hallman.
Welcome to Kansas Ag Report. I'm Brian Hallman, and here's our lineup for today's show. In Ag News, we'll take a look at local and national headlines affecting Kansas farmers. In our Ag Feature, we talk with Justin Gilpin from Kansas Wheat, where he'll wrap up this year's wheat harvest. And inside Kansas Ag, Kansas Soybean talks international trade and its impact on Kansas soybean farmers. And Kansas Farm Bureau tells us about the Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act. In the news you need to know, we get our weekly update from the Kansas Livestock Association, look back at last week's market activity with the guys from Paragon, and we'll let you know about important events coming up around the state of Kansas. Glad you could join us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org.
Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Here's our national headlines for this week in Ag News. The Safe and Affordable Food Labeling Act passed the House last week with bipartisan support as well as bipartisan opposition. The act prevents states from enforcing requirements to label foods containing GMO ingredients while setting up a process for indicating that foods are non-GMO. Supporters say that labeling foods as GMO gives a negative impression, even though the scientific community and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration have said there are no nutritional differences. Illinois officials plan to seek a federal disaster declaration for crop damage caused by excessive rain and flooding this spring and summer. A farmland tour this week by state commodity group leaders and the state ag director, Phil Nelson, showed the severe impact to crops and farmland. Nelson says his department is working with the FSA to secure a disaster declaration for those areas. The FSA says it's currently in an assessment stage. The northeastern Illinois area has an estimated 40% of their crops underwater. Chinese imports of distiller grains rose 60.5% in June from a year earlier to a record 959,000 tons due to robust domestic demand for the protein-rich animal feed ingredient. China is the world's largest buyer of DDGs, a byproduct of corn ethanol that is used as a substitute for corn and meal in animal feed. Chinese buyers have canceled or pushed back as much as 300,000 tons since last month after hefty imports put pressure on domestic prices. A drop in domestic soy meal prices to their lowest level in 8 years also hurt demand, one trader said. In local news, Senator Pat Roberts and Jerry Moran have introduced legislation to protect Kansans from the threat of a dangerous natural gas explosion by allowing states to monitor underground natural gas storage in the absence of federal action. The legislation will allow states to monitor the wells in interstate underground gas storage facilities. In Kansas, there are 11 interstate underground storage sites containing over 270 billion cubic feet of gas. The Kansas Department of Agriculture hosted 3 trade missions earlier this summer, sharing the benefits of grain sorghum with delegates from China. Kansas ranks first nationally in sorghum production, with nearly 200 million bushels totaling over $755 million in production in 2014. In total, the crop contributes $1.2 billion to the Kansas economy annually and directly employs or supports 8,900 jobs in the state. Kansas feedlots with capacities of 1,000 or more head contained 1.9 million cattle on feed on July 1st, according to the USDA's National Agricultural Statistics Service. This inventory was up 2% from last year. Placements during June totaled 335,000 head, up 6% from 2014. Fed cattle marketings for the month of June totaled 400,000 head, down 5% from last year. Up next in our Ag Feature, we talk with Justin Gilpin from Kansas Wheat as we wrap up this year's wheat harvest. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. Please stay tuned.
This segment brought to you by Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. GrassandGrain.com.
A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in Southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Kansas Weed Commission, leaders in the adoption of profitable innovations for weeds. Online at kswheat.com.
Dick Edwards, 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall on Highway 24.
I'm Dr. Frank Lyons, a physician here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. As one of the only standalone stem cell centers in the U.S., we use your stem cells as therapy for arthritis and some autoimmune diseases.
I'm Dr. Andrew Poe. Here at Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center, utilizing the latest technology under strict protocols, we're able to harvest your stem cells from your own fat to treat a variety of medical conditions. The best part about it is, it's a same-day surgical procedure and requires no general anesthesia.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Biodiesel made from sustainable resources is diversifying our fuel supply. This year, biodiesel will displace over 1 billion gallons of fossil fuel nationwide. It's making our economy stronger and our communities healthier. It's working here and across America. Get biodiesel going in your community. Visit americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Dick Edwards, 2 miles east of the Town Center Mall on Highway 24.
We're in Manhattan today, and we're joined by Justin Gilpin, who is the head of the Kansas Wheat Office, and we're in Manhattan at the Wheat Innovation Center. So, Justin, thanks for joining us this morning.
Always great to have you here at the Innovation Center, Brian.
New number, 335 million bushels, up from the 314 from July crop condition report. It's got to be encouraging news.
Well, it is. It is. There's definitely, as harvest progressed this year, there were some areas where things were much improved on where we thought they would be in April. And I know you spent a lot of time back the first part of May and talking with members of the Wheat Quality Council's Hard Red Winter Wheat Tour and the different things that they were seeing on that crop tour. But this crop went through so many challenges, from freeze damage to drought conditions to the disease pressure that we started getting, and then all the rains right at harvest time, that there was just a lot of ups and downs. And we knew things were starting to improve from that early estimate. Back in May, the estimate was below 300. It inched its way up to the 314, and then the July number came out at 335 million bushels for the state of Kansas, which is, all said and done, it's probably about an average crop. If we would come in about those yield numbers, There's a chance it may come down just a little bit because we may have lost some bushels due to some disease pressure and rains right at the end, and so the final August number may be revised a little bit lower, but we'll see. But certainly ended up a lot better than what prospects looked like they were going to back in coming out of dormancy in April.
Well, not only that, coming out of 2014, harvest out of 2014, which was a drought-plagued harvest to begin with, we're probably pushing 70 plus million bushels ahead of last year.
Right, that's correct. And when last year when we had the 246 million bushel production for the state of Kansas, it was the lowest production we'd had in almost 30 years for the state of Kansas. So having, a banker back early on told me one time that farmers can handle a drought. What they don't want to handle is back-to-back droughts, and so that's what we were kind of faced with, maybe coming out of dormancy in April. And so how things changed so dramatically, just weather conditions, the crop really responded with the rains and with the yield prospects, and there was some really, the crop was late enough that it was able to benefit from a lot of those rains out west, but the central and eastern part of the state really actually kind of started to deteriorate a little bit because of those rains and the disease pressure that came in.
Well, not only that, but most guys are going to come back and maybe double crop on top of that. So did you have any acres that were just lost? We've got a double crop and we're not going to cut it?
Well, there was definitely some acres that didn't get cut, especially where we had pockets of some head scab that really came in, and there were some varieties that were really susceptible to head scab, and so farmers went ahead and got those adjusted and didn't cut those, and so those were kind of southeast Kansas, northeast Kansas, and then there were certain circumstances where farmers did cut that and harvested those when had it tested for DON levels. The DON levels came in high enough that there was some pretty hefty discounts, and so unfortunately some farmers had to submit a lot of that through the RMA process, and hopefully can recoup some of those losses through crop insurance. But all in all, when you think about those pockets, we had the challenges with some head scab, challenges with some drought, challenges with freeze. With knowing all of those things, those challenges that we had to come out with a somewhat average crop, I think that's something that we ought to be pretty thankful for.
Perfect. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about what you should be doing coming into planting again this year. You're watching Kansas Ag Report. We'll see you in just a minute.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life. Farmers Insurance, your best protection against the unexpected. Call Agent Dan Key at 785-408-5459. Grass and Grain, online or in the mail, keeping Kansas farmers informed for over 60 years. grassandgrain.com. Blue River Traders, the finest selection of Western-style furniture for your home. BlueRiverTraders.com.
We're in Manhattan today. We're at the Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan. We're joined by Justin Gilpin. So, Justin, before we went to break, we were kind of talking about this year's harvest. Let's kind of jump forward 6 to 8 weeks from now. What should guys be thinking about?
Well, certainly coming off a year like we had this year, where we had as much disease pressure and challenges that were coming in right off of harvest time, I think it's an opportunity for guys to be able to look back at their variety selection, really evaluate the yield performance trials. I mean, this crop had about everything thrown at it, right? So you're going to be able to gauge how stripe rust resistance was, leaf rust resistance, how crops or some varieties perform better responding from droughts and freeze, and being able to make that selection for this coming year. We did have an issue with some flag smut being identified in some counties. Flag smut's an issue that can be treated with fungicide treatment and seed treatment, and of course you're going to see a lot more encouragement of Kansas using more certified seed and using seed treatments for this year, and I think that's something that's just going to become more and more encouraged from extension and crop advisors and farm associations, farmer grower associations, just because of management practices. I think it's a way that we can help alleviate some of these challenges, this disease pressure, but then also try to use best management practices to get the most out of their yield.
Well, in the long run, I think certified seed's probably the best direction to go. As you know, we've talked with Daryl several times about certified seed, so we want to make sure we're using that.
I think it's a step in the right direction for the Kansas wheat industry.
Perfect. Justin, thank you for your time today.
Always great to see you, Brian.
Trade Promotion Authority, signed into law June 29th, authorizes the President to negotiate large trade agreements which help remove trade barriers such as tariffs and regulations that are not science-based. The U.S. Department of Agriculture estimates there are about 260 preferential trade agreements worldwide. The United States is part of 20. Exports remain vital to the U.S. economy, especially to farmers who are among the most productive in the world. More than half of U.S. soybeans are exported, contributing to the agricultural sector's positive trade balance. In marketing year 2014, U.S. soybean farmers exported 2 billion bushels, valued at more than $30 billion. U.S. exports for marketing year 2015 are forecasted to reach 1.81 billion bushels of soybeans, the meal from 538 million bushels, and the oil from 163 million bushels. State and national checkoff funds are invested in building international demand and preference for U.S. soy. The United Soybean Board monitors trade agreements and their effects on U.S. soybeans. Meanwhile, the U.S. Soybean Export Council works with foreign governments and buyers, and the American Soybean Association represents U.S. soybean farmers and U.S. governmental affairs. You can learn more at kansassoybeans.org/international on the web.
In the battle to differentiate hype from reality, genetically engineered crops have been at the top of the debate list. But a bill was passed recently by the U.S. House that may put some common sense into law and will be good for the eating public. H.R. 1599, the Safe and Accurate Food Labeling Act, was co-sponsored by Kansas Congressman Mike Pompeo and North Carolina Congressman G.K. Butterfield. It's supported now by more than 400 groups, and it's a national standard that will eliminate a state-by-state patchwork of legislation, which would be a nightmare for food labelers, confusing to consumers, and unnecessarily raise the price of food in the process. There's probably no more studied, tested, and science-based conclusive evidence of safety than there is for genetically modified foods. It allows, among other things, farmers to increase yields, use less water, and less pesticides. This bill also allows for the FDA to make the call whether GMO foods would ever pose a health issue, rather than the rants of those with non-science agendas. And it sets up a voluntary user fee-based certification program for non-GMOs. Farmers and ranchers across the country must have proven technologies at their disposal, and we thank Congressman Pompeo for his unyielding work on this issue. We also urge the U.S. Senate and the President to quickly approve this measure so farmers can compete across the globe with safe and nutritious food grown in Kansas and across America.
This segment brought to you by Oldie Seed Farms, carrying soil-specific seed. Find them on the web at oldieseed.com. That's O-H-L-D-E seed.com. A.B. Flint Motor Company, selling quality used cars and trucks in southeast Topeka at 32nd and South Kansas Avenue. Integrity Gun and Pawn, 2 Topeka locations, specializing in firearms and training. igpawn.com to learn more. Impact Satellite, your local authorized DirecTV dealer. Impact Satellite at 785-554-5974.
All the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this? Yes, we can. But we'd prefer to give you the straight call, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.
The producer-funded Kansas Wheat Innovation Center was built to get improved varieties into the hands of farmers faster. Kansas Wheat, farmers advancing their future through wheat genetics research.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
You hear it all the time. Monthly payments of $289, $189, or even $89. How is this done, you ask? Well, with large down payments, low mileage leases, and you must qualify for all rebates offered. Can we do this? Yes, we can. But we'd prefer to give you the straight talk, where we tell you all the information up front, and you make the decision on what vehicle and payment you want. You won't need bifocals to read the fine print here. Dick Edwards, serving the Manhattan, Fort Riley, and Junction City areas for over 30 years.
You need a partner that you can count on to be there for your business. Providing a depth of understanding to risk management issues so you don't have to. A knowledgeable support team located in your area, delivering products and services to make you more successful.
The NCBA Board of Directors and Cattlemen's Beef Board adopted a new beef industry long-range plan during the summer conference earlier this month in Denver. Created by a 16-member special task force, the plan contains aggressive goals to strengthen the beef industry's position in the marketplace from 2016 through 2020. Task force members representing every link in the beef value chain agreed the single most important strategic objective is growing beef demand. That is quantified in the plan as a goal to increase the wholesale beef demand index by 2% annually over the next 5 years. According to the plan, increasing demand by the stated amount will require committing resources toward 4 core areas. Driving growth in beef exports is identified as a priority. Protecting and enhancing the business and political climate for beef is considered key, with this point driven by motivated stakeholders who become more engaged in policy concerns. Third on the list is increasing consumer trust in beef and beef production, whether that involves promoting better understanding of antibiotic stewardship or continued investment in beef safety initiatives. The plan also emphasizes promoting and strengthening beef's value image with consumers by communicating its nutritional benefits, making product improvements, and increasing production efficiencies.
Good morning, I'm Cody Wintersheet with Paragon Ag. Volatile, that would certainly be a great word to describe the ag markets recently. Take corn for example. After trading around in a 78-cent range, almost lulling people to sleep from the 1st of October to mid-June, it exploded into a 92-cent rally in just 1 month's time. Volatility can bring a lot of opportunity, but can just as easily bring regret. As a recent better weather outlook, stabilization in the crop conditions, and continued uncertainty on the global economic front has the market poised to give back most of their gains. Although there is still August weather to get through, along with the August 12th USDA report, which will have some adjustments to production in acres, we are in fact through a good portion of the historically critical points in our growing season. So if nothing materializes in the next month, we could find ourselves waiting till the combines start to roll this fall. If staying up to the date on markets isn't hard enough, it's often hard to know exactly what to do and how to do it when it comes to marketing your hard-earned crops and livestock. It's simply not enough to just have a plan. Sticking to that plan and implementing are equally as important. No one really knows what the markets are going to do, which is why developing and implementing a plan is vital to long-term success in navigating these volatile waters we've found ourselves in the last several years. If you have any questions on the markets or how you can start to view your marketing differently, give us a call at 888-452-8751. Have a great week.
Closed captioning brought to you by Dick Edwards in Manhattan, selling America's #1 truck, the Ford F-150, for over 30 years. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers. kansassoybeans.org. Ag Risk Solutions. Experience, knowledge, integrity. Your crop insurance solution, Ag Risk Solutions. Dick Edwards Auto Plaza in Junction City, home of this year's Motor Trend Truck of the Year, Ram Truck. DickEdwardsAuto.com.
Well, that's our show for today. I hope you'll join us each week for more news and information about agriculture in the state of Kansas. I'm Brian Holman, and thanks for watching.
Here at Blue River Traders, we have the greatest selection of rustic and western furniture in Kansas.
At Blue River Traders, you can select from an inventory of rustic lodge or western furnishings. With a designer on hand, Blue River Traders will help create the look you desire.
Imagine having someone help you pick the best corn hybrids for every field on your farm. Your Oldie representative can combine your data with his data to offer a field-by-field prescription. Contact Oldie Seed today at 877-692-4555.
Tammy the Pro Home Plus is all about providing warmth and kindness to aging individuals who find it difficult to live on their own. Tammy's team is made up of experienced caregivers and nurses committed to the highest level of individualized care, focusing on health and well-being, and assisting with nutrition, grooming, medications, therapies, and daily living needs, all in a warm, caring environment. Call Tammy the Pro Home Plus today at 785-383-7094 to learn how we can help.